Welcome back, my dear safe space lovers, and this episode is not going to be the usual episodes you often have. Today on stage, I have a wonderful young lady called Rahima. Oh, she'll introduce herself much more in all her glories, and we dive into a conversation that you're yet to know, so stay glued.
Thank you very much. I am really pleased to be here today.
Thank you for honoring my invite.
You're welcome. My name is Rahma Nasal. I'm actually a banker. Maybe we'll get to understand each other as we go on.
Okay, you're a banker. So what sector of banking are you working in now?
It's called retail credit for now, but that is not where I started from. And can I say that wasn't my dream? But I am there. I need to be there for some time so that I set myself to where I want to be.
Where I want to be. So what I want us to talk about today is as young people taking advantage of the things around us to cause some sort of development in our life. Because naturally, as a young person in Uganda, despite the fact that some may come from privileged families, but if you're coming off as a person who has to put in all the work into yourself, you may oftentimes start off on zero. You leave campus out of the wing of your parents, they've paid for education, you have attained it. Maybe you're lucky enough to get into employment there, and then maybe you're not lucky enough to get in. Or you're in and now you're thinking, what next? I'm earning this money, it's not working for me, it's not enough, I need to do this and this. You want to do some sort of change, causing those small changes in your life that in turn lead to personal development and getting you to the places where you are, but in the most cost-efficient way. So that's some of the ideas that we want to share with our fellow young people today.
All right, thank you very much. I think development starts with the mind. Are you prepared for it? Are you ready for it? It's not a bandwagon issue. We young people tend to follow what our colleagues do. Are you ready for what you are going to do? I'll give an example. When I'm currently doing CPA, but you know how long people take to finish just one course. And if you just bump into CPA, trust me, level 1, you fail, you're gone. You won't really complete. But are you ready for it? Is your mind set for what you want? Do you actually know what you want? Aren't you just doing a bandwagon thing? I think that is key for the start of stage for you to really develop yourself. Are you ready? So if I ask you, were you ready to start this? Had you set your mind?
I think for me, presenting, being on TV, having my podcast, those are things I've always loved. I've always wanted, I've always envisioned.
It's passion.
So yeah, I'm passionate about them. So even doing this is doing something. It's something I can wake up and do.
All right.
From bed. So I know what I want. But maybe the first point shouldn't be the readiness of the mind, should be understanding what you want. I don't know if you're on that Women's Day call, but there is a lady who made a very profound statement, and she said she was a middle child. Were you on that call?
Yeah, Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel. Yeah, she was a middle child, and in her family, her parents never really considered what she wanted. It was more of, what your big sister has done, you do. What you do? Which school am I going to? Why your big sister has gone? I know even parents have a tendency of passing on old clothes, old shoes. I want shoes. They give you your sister's shoes, and then they buy her new shoes. So she kept on being in the wing of her sister for in the shadow, of her sister for the longest of time. And after campus, and she has done this course which her sister did. She's not sure it's what she wanted. She started out to work, things are not making sense. She feels like she's struggling. She took out time to understand herself, and she admitted to herself, I have never understood who I am if I am not in my sister's shadow. I don't know who this person is. I am new to myself. Who am I and what do I want? I think the first questions to ask yourself is, when everything is gone, when you look on the side of you, who are you? What do you want? And for our shows to do is to go for a course of personal management and exploration. Like she was so intentional knowing who she is. And she went in for that course. It was about 6 months, and it helped her understand and discover who she was. So for me, I would think that is a nice place to start. Because when she gave her story, it made me look inside of myself, and I'm like, wait, is this what I even want?
I think sometimes we do not do what we want, but it's just a path. Imagine if she didn't have all that experience, would she be where she is now? It's just a path. But then also, even if you understand yourself, preparedness of the mind it's actually key, because how are you going to strive? Us that do not come from privileged families, I would mention that me, to finish my campus, I got a bursary. I'm a divine bursary actually. But I knew what I wanted from the word go. But how did I prepare myself to ensure that I have to finish? And I had to look out for ways on how I am going to finish campus. It's not that my mom wasn't really capable of paying fees, no, or tuition. No, she was, but she was struggling. So sometimes, even imagine if my parent is struggling home, I won't even be able to really pay attention and grasp what I am being taught in class. So I had to prepare myself, look for ways on how I'm going to finish. That is mind preparedness.
Reminds me
be
of my
ready.
mantra this year. I kept on telling myself it's something connected to preparedness of mind, but it is more of like, the world will not give you what you deserve. The world will give you what you fight for.
Thank you. Then that takes me to the story of the person the brothers that came up with lamps and all that, the lights. Do you know that those guys failed 1,000 times? And on the, I don't know how to call it, 1001 time, it's when they made the bulb. But because they were prepared and they were willing to continue, how is it called? Perseverance. Yes, exactly. So they were prepared. They're like, no, I am not giving up. I have to reach the final destination.
I think also the second thing that we need to note is that this is a personal fight, guys. When you're a young person in this country, it is a personal fight, and it's a fight that you have to endure each and every day. It is a personal fight. No one is going to hand you nothing. Even your parents who took you through school, have given you everything, can only do that much.
Somehow
and also
I deviate from that.
and feeling sorry for yourself. Your mother can hand you an opportunity and you waste it, Rahim.
No, I deviate from that.
How?
Imagine if I was born from a privileged family, would I be here?
Either way, let me tell you something about opportunity and chance. It's no longer, you get to have you seen those kids who are within school that were considered? You're like, this one with their brains, I don't think I'll find them any place. Or this one with his money, his parents' money. And right now you look at them, the world is a leveled field. There's not no privilege. Actually, even for us, the Bible. I know, but maybe there's something in the Quran. I've realized those things are the same, just written differently. It says time and chance happens to all of us. Time and chance happens to all of us.
But it might not really happen to you, and it happens to your kids.
It happens to all of us, guys.
No.
Never be deceived. Time and chance will
No,
happen
Rose,
to you.
if you are meant to die poor, you're going to die poor.
No.
But the good thing is, you'll be like, I have tried.
No.
That's
there
the
is
difference.
No such a thing as you are meant to be this. You can reach this earth and forge a life for yourself for him. You can forge a life for yourself out of scratch. And very many people are testament of this. But the problem with very many young people is always sitting and feeling sorry for themselves of, oh my God, this country, now look at the taxation issue. Now look at this. How would someone succeed in this country? Or probably you give up so early.
That is failure to try.
No, you try, but you try with complaining. You try with a mindset of, no matter how much I try, I'm going to fail. Like it's a stage of failure.
There was a period where I was really struggling. at work, my life, and everything. So I could complain, but deep down I know I have something to achieve. I have something to work for. But if at all I failed in the process, I wouldn't blame myself because I had tried. So it doesn't mean that whenever you try, you're going to succeed. But let me tell you, you never blame yourself if you try. You never feel like, oh, I like those weird blames that come afterwards. Or failure. You'll be like,
this Nigerian writer, I'm forgetting her name. She's a very staunch writer, a very good one. And she was like, the only regrets she wants to sip on are the regrets of it didn't work, but not one of I didn't try.
Exactly. Exactly. So that is the problem that we have with the young generation. I remember, sorry, I used myself too much. I was looking for internship. I moved all over Kampala and I failed to secure a place. I really failed. Sometimes I sat there and I was like, maybe because I was not privileged to be born from a rich family, a connected family. Then one day my friend was coming from APSA. And she told me, hey, APSA, you know, they want a second class upper. Then I was like, okay, I have a second class upper. But I went to APSA, just applied randomly, put in my application where the reception back then was really tough, but I was like, no, I have nowhere to go. And I remember going back to campus and I told our dean, you know what, I heard that you send people on to different districts. So I registered. But the time when I registered, the following day APSA called me for a placement. But I really didn't give up, and somehow it's APSA has been my entire employment life. Like I've been there when I was an intern. I have grown, but if at all I didn't try, I would be like, now I think I would be on the streets looking for jobs.
It's okay. I actually do understand. For me, long story. Long story. But anyway, I think it's the first part of this segment. What we can agree on is never stop, always try, and then stand up for what you want. Like keep forging our way forward, yeah? All right, we're going to hold the thoughts, and when we come back from this very short break, what I want us to deep dive in is how to use the resources around us to propel us forward. Welcome back from this very short break. And as we continue, something I want to really ask you, Rehema. How in your life have you used things around you, resources around you to propel you to where you wanted to?
One, do not take everything for granted. We have friends, guys. We have friends.
You have friends.
Okay, sorry, yes, I have friends. And listening is key. So try hard to listen to what people say. Sometimes you just have to pick something very small that is going to push you forward. It can be a resource. So listen carefully to what everyone has to say. However biased you are, just pick up just something very small. Let it be a young kid, like a kid. Let it be of recent I listened to TED Talks. And there was a young boy that was convincing parents that they should take their kids, okay, like besides school, that break that they needed, that kids needed a break outside the serious life and all that. And the way he was emphasizing. So I argued a lot about it. But when I went back home, then I reflected. Me as a person, I've never liked studying.
But you're studying.
I am, because I have no choice. It's the world we are living in now. I need to develop. I need to grow. How am I going to grow if I do not study? So I push myself. But sometimes you do not have to be hard on yourself all the time. Yeah? Take breaks. Just, okay, that young kid taught me how to be like, oh, you do not have to be hard on yourself all the time. Like, listen to your heart, listen to your friends, listen to people around you. Me getting a scholarship, but divine scholarship, it was a friend. Friend was like, oh, come on, we apply. And unfortunately, she didn't get. But I did. But it's because I listened to her. Me getting internship, I told you, it was still a friend. She
Some
was coming
resources
from
around you.
exactly. Like, do not take anyone for granted. Learn to listen and learn to take feedback. Learn to take feedback. If someone tells you, Rehma, what you did wasn't right, ask why. Understand why. And not just taking feedback. Okay, you keep quiet. Someone is telling you what you did is not right. Reflect on it, because taking it means you have to reflect on it and turn it to be, make it positive. Like change your life in a positive way through that feedback. Not just, oh, the other person told me this and you get angry at that person. Just pick the beautiful things out of a conversation. Yeah, I think listening is key. Let it be news, let it be young kids. Those young kids actually communicate. They do communicate if you...
Sometimes it may be the direction that you need.
Exactly.
I think the other resource that could be around us, besides friends, the cheapest resource is some of those things in your workplace that you undermine. Those little, I don't want to call them little, those privileges that your bosses give you. You get into a workplace, they have circles, they have substandardized loans, they have very different things. Like every workplace has its own advantages. And now I'm talking about people that are already into the working field. Yeah, you'll find that there are those things that you're entitled to as an employee. Exploit them as much as you can. As a young person, it may be easy to fear them. I think the thing I really feared in my life was credit life.
Alone.
Child, the sound of alone.
They're taking your properties.
I would think no. And then someone sat me down and helped me make the math. It's like, okay, Rose, let's say you want to buy a car. Let us say, assuming you want to buy a car. And you're saving up on this, your savings account for what? Maybe the car you want is like 27M or 32. Okay, you save up 32 million. How long is it going to take you to save up that 32 million? And you're like, if I'm saving according to this and this and this, it may take me about 5 years, 6 years. Like, all right, by then how old will you be? Like this age. So that's when you get your first car. Until yes, according to plan. Until yes, okay. So if you take a loan now and get your car now and finish that same payment in the same time frame, what is the difference?
The difference is there is interest, and here you're saving. And
does it stop the car from depreciating?
It does. Actually, when you're talking about depreciation, that means the car will depreciate when you get it. So all this time, it's not depreciating.
How old are you? You're depreciating. You know, human beings will also depreciate. How old are you? Like, if you're going to save for your each and every goal, maybe at the moment where you are and the resources where you are, you may not get the things that you want at time you want them. But you have resources available to you. The first resource is those things that are in your workplace that will help you. Then the second thing is knowledge. We have knowledge around us. Utilize mentors. Utilize people that have gone ahead of you in life. You talked about listening. Utilize, you see those people, that your boss that you hate, that one, that 30-year-old person, that is 45, 30-something boss, who you feel like is really pinching and itching your skin. Listen to them, learn from them, not only the good things, also explore other parts of their lives that you feel they failed.
And also change your attitude, guys. Change your attitude. Change your attitude. Let me tell you, the moment you sit in your boss's seat, you learn that it is hot to be there. Change your attitude. Be willing to learn. Be willing to navigate all spaces and get to understand what each and everyone does.
Change your attitude. Okay. Attitude is there. I think that's why we talked about mind preparedness for someone to actually be ready for the things that they want in their life. You have to have a mindset of a learner, a worker, a bookser, I don't know, but it has to be the lowliest attitude. Like you don't have to. um, You have to be the lowliest person if you're going to learn and get so far ahead in life. You have to serve more, listen more, be willing to do the very funny work. But what I was talking about in this instance is look at people who have gone ahead of you. You've heard of that saying of once bitten, twice shy. Me, I will say, once another person is bitten, twice I'll be shy on their behalf. If you look at, let me say, your big sister or your big brother or even your boss or even a friend of you who has gone far ahead in life, successfully, age, whatever, and you notice certain things that they did wrong, there is no need for you to try and error.
Okay, Ruth, maybe something else. How often do you use your phone as a resource? I know young kids or young children or the youths, when we are using our phones, we're using them for WhatsApp, Instagram. You're posting your beautiful pic. You want everyone to see you that you're beautiful.
I think I use my phone.
Facebook. Are you on LinkedIn? How many youths I know are on LinkedIn?
I'm on LinkedIn.
But when you compare LinkedIn to Instagram, is it the same number of, you know?
People know.
It's totally different. Let's embrace change. Let's embrace technology. People out there put jobs on LinkedIn. They send links different ways. But when we focus on our phones, you want to respond to your boyfriend's message.
so
I am
true.
not saying that it is wrong. It is okay
It's
to
only
respond
because
to your
you're
boyfriend because it's
single.
a relationship. But give it time and use a phone as a resource. You guys will really invest. We buy these phones millions and millions and you earn nothing out of them.
I think the other thing you can get from, you see how you said you're listening to TED Talks? I think I've listened to most of my best and motivational speakers on phone. I have gotten nice books on phone on personal development because sometimes a physical copy may cost thousands of dollars. But the online copy, they give it out freely. Why? Because they know how cheap it is. And yeah, or you pay like $2 or $3 for it. Yes. So you can use your phone. By then, maybe all you have is data. Look for someone who speaks into your life, because what you listen to will also push you and propel you to where you want to be. That could be something you could use the phone for. Yeah,
exactly. And maybe the last one I would want to talk about is we hate books. I hate books. We hate books, but
you and whom?
me.
I love books. I love reading.
Personally, me, I hate books because
I love reading.
I've been doing a certain course for quite a long time, 2 years, 3, if I'm not mistaken. But there is no way you're going to grow when it comes to employment if you do not advance. No one is going to consider you bachelors. The world is changing. It's very competitive. Yes, the bachelors will help you enter. And those are entry jobs, by the way. But we need to grow. You know, if you want to earn more millions and millions, not just a million, you need to advance. Scholarships are there, guys. I told you how I got a advanced scholarship. Scholarships are out there, be it in Uganda, be it outside Uganda. So be open to advancing. Be open to learn something new, learn something. I mean, all of us do courses at university. Which course did you do, Rose?
Psychology.
And she is doing banking, for your information. So you can imagine. And if you do psychology, and maybe one day or one time you want to really get to, let me say, a finance business partner role, what is going to take you there is you advancing.
I'm going to do my MBA.
MBA, definitely. So be open, be willing to advance. Do not just stop on your bachelor's and you expect that you're going to grow that easily. Okay, for planned kids. But if you're really not, your mom is not a boss, so your dad is not the boss of the company.
They don't own anything.
Exactly. Know where you fall and be open and advance.
I can't afford higher education.
What do you mean you can't afford? Scholarships are there. That is why I told you your phone is a resource, girl.
Don't look for scholarships.
No. Scholarships are there. I don't know if you guys, there is a lady called Pumla, sorry. I listen to Pumla so much. And if you listen to Pumla, she got a scholarship just to advance. She was pregnant, but her attitude was different. She was willing to take up that role, that scholarship and study and advance, because the way you see your future is, we all want a brighter future. We all want something that is beautiful. But how are you going to get there if you're not willing to look for things that are going to push you go there?
Okay, so I think higher education is depending on where you want to go.
You want to be a CFO. on your bachelor's, right?
I've dreamed of being a CEO, girl.
I
Without
like
going back to school.
It's impossible. Okay, it's a CFO of your own personal business, not a CFO of someone's business, because they will need qualifications, and one of the qualifications, obviously, they're books.
You never always wanted to go back to school, and one time I told my dad that I wanted to go back for my master's, and he told me first go into the world, understand who you are, and then you will do the right master's degree.
Did you?
Yeah, I think I now know what I want. I think I now know the master's degree I'm going to enroll. So
Exactly.
I think this experience was serving. Thank you for that. You've helped me on some clarity. I've always, you're lazy. Like, I'll enroll next year. Next year. So I think right now I'm going to go and actually apply for my master's. Yeah, I think I'm still early, right? The next intake is what?
We've seen yesterday. Was it yesterday when people graduated from ODC? Then I noticed there is a minister. She's old. Sorry, I won't mention her name. She's really old, but she was also graduating. There's nothing like you are late. You can still do it.
Anytime.
Even at the age, we saw Kentucky Chicken. What that guy?
KFC.
He was old, guys. He was old, but who has never eaten KFC? Now it's a famous thing. Like everyone is, oh, I want KFC. Even a young kid, a newborn wants KFC. So it's never too late, guys. You can start
at
now.
any one time. So this is all the time that we have. I don't know why every other mate wants to colleagues, but this is the time that we have at Safe Space. Thank you so much for joining us in this conversation. I'll be waiting to see your comments in the comment section. Subscribe, like,
sign out.
Share, and we sign out. See you guys at Namaste for supper. Supper, dinner. Dinner. People don't use that word anymore.